What's up, Junkies? Welcome back to Culture Junkies Live, the weekly geek talk show talking about all these topics that you love talking about. Here's your host, Kenshiro, and all his boys. We hope you had a great weekend, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially like that breaking news that pretty much stopped the hearts of all DC fans out there. Is Cavill hanging up the cape? Is he not going to be Superman anymore? And is this just another sign of DC just screwing the pooch one more time? Let me throw it to my boys and let you know who's going to be on the show with me today. Starting off with Mr. GQ. What's up, man?
Not too much. How's everybody doing out there tonight?
Also, the great Dr. Kuji. How you doing, friend?
I am doing fabulous. Fan-you-tabulous? Yeah, fan-you-tabulous.
Fan-you-tabulous. Only you. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. That's Colossus, indeed. Also, the Super Nerd Plus. What's up, man?
Salutations. I'm here as always. What's up,
as
everybody?
Always. What's up, everyone? Also, and last but not least, Fallen Marvel is checking in. What's up, bro?
What is up? Happy to be here, everybody.
Awesome. So let's get right to it, dude. Let's get right to it, guys. Is Superman gonna be played by Henry Cavill anymore? The news kind of broke earlier today about Cavill reportedly being out as Superman in the DCEU. He's hanging it up after contract negotiations fell through with negotiating for a cameo role in Shazam. Those talks broke down, and he's not going to be doing it anymore. So, what's your gentlemen's thoughts after you heard the news about that this morning? Let's throw it with you, GQ. Let's start with you.
I look at it as potentially right now, it's a rumor, or it's a really ill decided or poorly chosen publicity stunt, because they're not in a position to do anything like that. If it was, let's say, Robert Downey Jr. saying he's done playing Iron Man, which is actually, not far from the truth, fine, because you're already sitting on top of the hill. You can do stuff like that. You control the audience. You can joke around. When you're, sitting there trying to hold the car together, or trying to, duct tape the side view mirror on your car, rolling down the street, it's not the time to be acting like, oh, well, yeah, the steering wheel is about to be thrown out of the car. So who knows? It might be real, it might not. If it's real, they're in a pretty bad spot, because obviously we already know Affleck is going to be walking away from Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And if you lose your Superman, those are your two heavy hitters. Wonder Woman, yes, she's starting to bring up, and carry her own thing, but let's be real. Batman and Superman have carried DC over the past 20 years. So
Absolutely.
If there's turmoil with those two characters, they got some stuff they got to clean up. But again,
Right.
He might be trolling everybody. But to me, if it is a troll, it's a really poorly timed one, because you guys are not in a position to be acting like anything, is being shaken up, because Aquaman is the only thing you got coming out this year.
Right. Did you like Cavill as Superman? I don't know if I ever asked you that.
He's better than Brandon Routh. Let's put it that way. Looks better, sounds better. Needs to do something about that taco meat at the top of the,
okay.
But beyond all that, I like the way he played the character. It was now the whole brooding and all that other stuff. That was direction from the director. Can't necessarily 100% blame him for that. That was what he was told to do. But you see flashes of him being a good Superman at the end of Justice League. When he comes back, after being dead or whatever, and he comes back, he's a heck of a lot closer to what a lot of people envision Superman to be, or how they would want a Superman to be portrayed. And if they don't run with that, and if they go back and hide in the dark again with Superman, then it's like, okay, any little bit of goodwill you built up with the end of Justice League only is going to be lost. So hopefully they'll get their stuff together and throw him whatever money he needs to stay on, because he's going to get a chance to headline The Witcher. So, dude, hey, you can be Superman, that's great and everything, but if the projects ain't rolling the way they need to be rolling, and DC doesn't really seem to have a plan, I'd rather go with something that has a more solid foundation.
Super Nerd, your thoughts?
I think it's absolutely true because all we got is disappointment from DC from the past couple of years with all these quote unquote rumors that came out facts. So you can't clean that up. I mean, if he's done, he's done. If I was him, I'll be done as well because they did a complete shit show on every movie that they've done so far. So it's done. I believe it's absolutely true.
Every movie that they've done. What about Wonder Woman?
Oh, Wonder Woman was good.
Okay, so
I can't say every. Okay, so I should say Batman vs Superman, Justice League, and the Superman movie.
Okay,
all of those have been shit shows.
Man of Steel was good. But that's my opinion. I'm not. If you think so, okay. But in my opinion, Man of Steel was a good movie. Dadakuji,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, Dadakuji, what you think?
Excuse me. Well, I think I don't care because DC seems to not know what the hell they're doing. I really just I can't be bothered with them. Just if they're gonna freaking redo the whole cinematic universe, which looks like they're probably gonna do half of it and their old stuff, and who knows? I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they just put movies out like comic books. Like I've always said, the comic books are very convoluted. Where people who just want to get into comic books starting now, I don't know where they would start. So maybe they're just looking at the movies like that. They don't know where to start, and they're just going to throw stuff out there. So we get something. Maybe one day it'll be interesting. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know much to say out there.
So your thought is that this is just another sign of them haphazardly putting their universe together, and you just really ain't got time for none of that bullshit no more.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I go see the movies because I want to be entertained. I like movies, period.
Right.
And hopefully I want to see them do something that's well. On the back end, it seems like they don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm not even going to freaking I can't even comment on what they're trying to do because it just doesn't make any sense. If you're trying to put together a universe and your showrunner, your front runner is Superman, and this actor has been playing Superman for 3 movies? You think you're going to try to keep him around.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't think they really care. I think they look at comic book movies like how they were looked at back in the 90s and the 80s. They haven't changed because it's probably the same freaking people in charge that were in charge back then. They don't think anything of it. It's just, okay, put it out there. It'll make some money. And if it doesn't, then we'll try again or something. I don't know. It's stupid.
Hey, real quick, I want to say what's up to Andre, Michael, and Andrew over there in the Facebook chat. Thanks for joining the show, y'all.
Yep, much appreciated for everybody's patronage on the show. Follow Marvel. Give us your 2 cents, my friend.
To be honest, when it dropped this morning, I can't say that I would have been surprised if it did go down like that. Obviously, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because you can't really deal in absolutes when it comes with these articles a lot of the time. So, that's going to be a very heavy blow if it is true, because again, Henry Cavill does fit into the role rather well. It just was marred by the direction it went, and it just didn't help him in that role, even though there's a lot of potential there. So right now it's up in the air. They've been very, very vague all day about it, which to me is a red flag because it's, something like that, you think they just nip that in the bud, but apparently they are kind of just, it's like, it does kind of feel like they're trolling it right now, which I don't know if they're just using it just to ramp up advertisement or just, getting clicks or whatever the hell. Right now, I can't say for certain. It feels like they are, but at the same time, maybe they're just doing a poorly executed publicity stunt for this. I don't know. It feels weird, but just right now, they really don't have much room to be playing around like this or with their current reputation because they still have some things that they have to prove before they can get into
like what to prove. They have nothing to pay. They're done.
No. They have plenty to prove because they have nothing to work with right now. Is what I'm saying.
And it's going to continue to be nothing to work with. It's a wrap for them.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, it's really going to depend on how good Aquabro is in December and Shazam in March.
So, did you call it Aqua Bro? Are we really doing that now? Come on,
yes,
man.
We are. Hey,
Really?
I'm doing it full fledged. Hey, because I've said many a time, dude, the tone he had from that first teaser of Justice League to what we actually saw in the movie was two completely different dudes, and I'm like. I just it's like you can't take somebody that's a legitimate badass like what is his name? Oh
Jason Momoa?
You can't take a legitimate badass like Jason Momoa and straight up surfer boy him. Because that's literally that's all I can think of anytime he started saying stuff during that whole fight. I'm like, oh my God.
He's just reliving his Baywatch days. Come on now.
I guess so, man. I'm a little bit more Carl Drago and my man he played in that Sylvester Stallone movie, and the Aquaman that threw Bruce Wayne up against a wall.
Yeah,
in the teaser trailer. I want more of that.
Yeah, I wanted more of that. Yeah, I wanted more of that too. I did too.
Because as soon as he went surfer boy, the only thing I could think of then was that orange shirt and them green pants and that blonde hair.
You know we're going to get that too. And come December, you know we're going to get that at some point.
It's going to be memes all over the place, man.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, goodness.
I'm still hoping.
Look who's in Meow Yin in the chat.
Oh, I know. I already got her on her. You know, being tease and say, oh, I'm going to be on the show. I'm going to be on the show this week. Tease. Anyway, I'm very much looking forward to Aquaman. I think Aquaman is going to be a good movie. Now, we talked about Cavill being out. Now, he posted on his Instagram not even like 2 hours ago kind of a funny video of him wearing a Krypton lifting team shirt, you know, showing off of a picture, a toy sculpture of him as Superman. Is he just trolling us? Is he kind of working Warner Brothers for a little more cash? What's going on here? What's the speculation, GQ? What you think?
Like I said, I think it's a troll, but it's an ill-advised troll, in my opinion. But I mean, if it gets people talking about DC for a hot minute, that's fine. They need the help. Let's just be real. They need the help because they don't have anything happening until November, I think, is when Aquaman drops. So it's like you got a long drought for any comic book movies, with the exception of Venom, until October, November. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess they want to stir up some controversy, but
so basically, they're pulling the 8 Mile and talking about how bad they are.
I guess so, man. Because either way, here's the problem. No matter what they do, because when does Shazam drop? March?
I think it's March, if I recall.
Is it March when Captain Marvel drops?
Yeah, I think so.
They're dead in the water right there, and don't even bring nothing out in May. So you may as well just drop that discussion right now. So they're working with what little free space they got to get as much shine as they can get.
Interesting. What's everybody else's take on the Cavill Instagram post?
Man, I just saw it. I mean, I don't really care. I still think they're done for because even in Justice League, Superman just started to become Superman. Even like towards the end of the fucking movie, in my opinion. I mean, well, he was a little bit better than he was in Batman vs Superman, but that's not saying much in my opinion. They
not
still,
hard to do it all.
Yeah, not hard to do it all, but still though, it's not clicking. I mean, you can say it's publicity stunt, but what does that mean? Anything? It's still gonna probably be another shitty movie, or unless they can come off their asses and really pull this one out. But other than that, I'm not rooting for anything they do right now.
Everybody's so cold.
It's gotta be, man, because it's
so
listen.
Cold.
I'm not even gonna I don't know what to say about this. It's like you guys been doing shit for years, and you thought you was top notch, and then you started slacking on your pimping, and look what happened. So I don't understand what's so hard of like pull your resources. Y'all got money. And you got Warner Brothers backing you. Go like, I don't know, what are you guys doing? Like, just pull your resources together. If you gotta hire what's the old girl who did the voice director or voice casting for all the
Andrea Romano?
If you gotta pull her out of retirement, damn it, do what you gotta do. And pull some actors that should be on the big screen, because you're not doing it trying to get big names for no fucking reason. And people suck. And you see everybody want to jump ship. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I personally hope that he's not out. But Fallen Marvel, give me, and Daidakuji, give me your thoughts on the Instagram post, and then we'll move on.
I'll go first. Okay, look. A simple I'm still gonna be Superman or I'm not gonna be Superman would have been just fine. I don't know what this vague mess they wanted. I don't know who put Henry up to this, or if it was his idea, or if they're just doing this. I don't know why, but it's like, I don't know. Like, it took all day to finally say something about it. Because let's be real. As hot as this story was, there's no way he didn't hear about it within like the first hour. Okay. So for them to wait all the way until like later on in the evening and put up this vague little video with dogs barking to Johann Strauss or whatever, it's like, come on now. Like, just say either you are or you're not. If you're not, hey, ain't no point in dragging this out like more than it has to. If he's still there, then what is the point of this? Yeah, that's how I feel about it right now.
Dido?
Well, I just looked at the Instagram, and it doesn't look to me like he's out. And when contracts are involved, from my understanding, you can't go around and saying anything, because I believe he wants to play Superman, and you have to come out with a decent contract, in order for everybody, all the parties, to feel like they are getting what they deserve. So, with saying that, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't want to not be Superman, because that just sounds dumb. Specifically, I'm not an actor, and I just can't stand when I hear, well, I don't want to be that role anymore. And you got thousands of actors who, act in commercials and never get their big break. And you over here saying, you know what, I've had steak before. Fuck this steak and throw it on the ground. And that's what it sounds like to me. So I don't think he sounds like that at all. I hope they keep their universe set. I hope they get somebody in there like Joss Whedon, because yeah, he did the part of the Justice League. Just put him in the area where he can actually just take over and start putting these movies out. Because if he's not going back to Marvel and he wants to continue doing comic book movies, let him do some DC stuff. DC out there has some great stories. They got some great characters. They got great villains. They just need to have somebody who is not an idiot running their division of the DC movies. So, like I said, I really can't say. I hope he stays in, because it just makes that cohesiveness, and you don't have butthurt fans getting a black Superman, even though the black Superman exists in the comics. So why can't he exist in any other medium? But I just want to see something that's good. That's all I'm looking forward to. I just want to see a good, Wonder Woman, and like I said, I like Justice League, so they need more.
I agree. All right, so moving on to a superhero that actually is doing really good in the public eye right now, and that would be Spider-Man. Just came out on PS4 last week Thursday. I did the unboxing of the PS4 Pro exclusive. Played a couple of playthroughs with the game over this weekend. I really enjoyed it a lot. I think it's a really great game, and definitely deserving of all of the hype it's been getting. If you haven't seen the playthrough videos that I did, please hop over to our YouTube page and watch our playbacks. But I just wanted to get kind kind of some thoughts of my fellow panelists who probably either played the game themselves or watched me play it, and kind of get their thoughts. So, Super Nerd Players, why don't you go ahead and give me your thoughts of Spider-Man and the game itself? You got your hands on a PS4 just to play this game, right?
Yes, I did. Thank you to my good friend, my best friend, Waffles. He let me borrow his PS4 because, you know, I want one, and there's a bunch of games I want to get, but Spider-Man was the one that I really wanted because if you don't know, Spider-Man has been my favorite hero since I was a kid, yada, yada, yada. So I'm watching you playing it, and I was just thoroughly just enjoying just the atmosphere of the whole surroundings. And, like, if you know previous Spider-Man games that are open world, it gets kind of boring, but it felt like you had so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you had actual noise in the background. Sometimes there don't be no noise in the background. It just be city noise. You hear him talking to somebody, or he's talking to himself. I mean, he may talk to himself in the older games, but I just feel like this was just way better. I don't know, just the whole game. I'm watching, and when you fought Kingpin, that was dope. I like how you. Should I ruin it or should I ruin it? I'm not sure.
No, go ahead, because that was actually one of the things that they showed off in previous footage. So yeah, go ahead and talk about it all you want.
So when you was fighting Kingpin and you knocked him through that glass and that whole fight scene in the glass, I said, "Damn, that's sweet as hell." I don't know how you survived that, but but it was still fun as hell. But one thing I was disappointed in you, I was like, "Oh, I can do without the QuickTime event." Fuck that! I love QuickTime event. Keep you on your toes. Keep your soul.
Whatever, man. It was too easy. It was too easy, man.
Even if it wasn't, I'm saying, like, most QuickTime events, like, it keeps you on your toes, in my opinion. That's why I love Shenmue so much, because it kept you on your toes with the QuickTime event. So people out there that, it's Spider-Man, mostly QuickTime events, like, fuck that, dude. I like QuickTime events. And then by being easy, it's like, shit, you can be playing something, it might pop up out of nowhere, but, oh shit, quick, you can hit a button, hit whatever button that's on the screen. Like, I like that shit. That makes me sharp on my reflexes, in my opinion. But overall, the game looked beautiful. I'm watching on my 4K TV. I'm like, damn, this shit look nice.
Mm-hmm.
It like the swinging part aspect of it. It ain't like back in the day, just shoot at a fucking web and it just catches whatever. You really got a target where you going.
Yeah.
And swing. Yeah, right. So you swing across the city. I really enjoyed that factor of it. So I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to play it. I'm probably gonna venture out to each part of the big part of the world or whatnot, because this is one of the biggest open world games, correct?
I believe that New York is fully realized outside of the 5 boroughs. You can't go there. Nice. But as far as like to scale, this might be the biggest. This might be the best representation of New York I've ever seen. Nice. Down from all the landmarks, from the streets that they were naming out. It wasn't like neighborhoods. It was like actual streets in New York telling you like where, like, so I don't have the same experience as someone that maybe lives in New York and might be able to say visually they can look and say, okay, yeah, that street right over there is what they're talking about. Let me head that way. And then you'll see it. I thought it was, but just as far as the look and the polish and the feel of the swinging mechanics, the fighting system, honestly, let's speak about that a little bit too. And Dado Kuji, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Actually, no, Fallen Marvel, I'm throw it over to you. Since this
you
game,
might not want to.
you watched me play it, so you can at least speak on this aspect and just follow me where I'm going here. They pulled a lot of mechanics from the Arkham Asylum games and threw it in here. Like from when you're unlocking the tower, it plays just like if you were doing the cryptographic scanner. The fighting system was very reminiscent of Batman Arkham Asylum when you're throwing out combos, when you're mixing in gadgets and things like that. It feels all similar like that. There's an actual flow, I guess you could say, to it. So speak on that a little bit, and why the game maybe chose to do something like that.
Well, I mean, it's no way of getting around it. I mean, the Arkham series kind of set a standard for comic book games in general, like during that time, because I think up to that time, we definitely were waiting on a really good Batman game. And they finally was able to make one, of course, with classic voiceovers and all that great stuff. But obviously, one of the things that set the game apart was the combat system, like the free flow system, which was pretty dope when it first came out. So it kind of makes sense if we are going to revisit and reimagining a Spider-Man type game and trying to put something interesting in there, it would make sense to kind of, look over at the free flow system, but instead of just Batman with the bat gadgets, you have Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Spider Sense, Spider Agility, all that. So that kind of just it kind of takes the free flow system and essentially just dials it up to 15. With using Spider-Man. So it's like that aspect, obviously adding the open world aspect to it and all of that, and like all the other chains and all the other gadgets and all the stuff you can mix up with it. I mean, honestly, how could you go wrong with it? To be honest, it's like you can't go wrong with that. And plus, with Insomniac being behind it, as far as I can tell, with most of the games they've made, they haven't missed yet. So the fact that this game has, integrated like those parts of what made, the Arkham series and just a comic book game in general, like so great, it would make sense to use that, or take an influence from that and tweak it up a bit with the spider flare, the Spider-Man flare. So that's all I can really say. I mean, it looks amazing. That's all I can say.
Nato, your thoughts?
My thoughts on the game is that it does look great. Like Fallen Marvel said, the Arkham series definitely did set a standard, and it's unfortunate that it's not, as far as I know, my understanding, not too many superheroes where you can make a game that expansive like how Batman and how Superman or Spider-Man, because Superman, I can't see them doing a game like that because they literally would have to make it the entire planet, maybe, pull in like No Man's Sky or something like that. But Spider-Man looks very interesting to me. I do want to get it. I'll just wait till you yokels finish playing it and you trade it in, and I'll get it for $20 or something like
Yokels?
that.
Yokels? What the hell, dog? Yokels, man? What is that? Yokels? What the hell is that? What? We in the country now, homeboy?
I thought I had crazy verbiage.
Right. Yo, man, Red Dead is next month. It's not this month, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys can spend the $60 for me, and I'll just pick it up for cheap.
Skip that. I'm gonna sneak in on your randomizer and put Spider-Man on there, and then once it pops up, you gotta.
Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah. So anyway, guys,
still got 3 more months.
And I bet you they can't pass fast enough either. I bet. Go ahead.
Him not buying any video games is like no nut November.
Wow. It's been like that.
Wow.
Except for, it can't be like no nut because I'm still playing video games. I'm just not buying any. So it's like
right.
So it's like
I said the same thing.
Almost like he needs some new material or something, right?
It's kind of like those dudes out there that get married and then go cheat on their wives. They're actually staying with their wives now.
Only because the wives allow. I don't know where he was going with that, but anyway, I want to bring up something.
Whatever. It was a bad analogy.
Yeah, it was a bad analogy. I'm move on. Spider-Man. The good stuff about Spider-Man is brings up highlighted another thing to me. Why is it so hard to make a good Marvel game? Because it's like, okay, Spider-Man is really good and all. I still haven't. I mean, outside of Wolverine's Revenge, we haven't really had a really great X-Men game. There hasn't been a good Iron Man game. There hasn't been a good Thor game. There's been a pretty good Hulk game, but we haven't had one in forever. But why is it so hard to make a Marvel game? GK, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's hard. I think what it is people expect more out of their games nowadays. Arkham, like Fallen Marvel said, set the standard, and they set it high. This is the standard really high. But like has also been mentioned, that mechanic, that open world exploration type thing really works well for Batman and Spider-Man. Hulk, I mean, Ultimate Destruction was a great game. Marvel Alliance and Marvel Alliance 2 were good games. I mean, heck, let's look all the way back to the X-Men Apocalypse and all those games. Those games were great games, but they were fun because of the cooperative aspect. And I think you get into a point now where that's just not as popular as it used to be. I mean, you know, there's obviously co-op games online and whatnot, but those were like couch co-op games, and they were perfect, and they were, you know, just really fun to play. I think the single player aspect, because I mean, Sega had a during the early years of the Avengers, had a run of they had a Captain America game, a Thor game, and 2 Iron Man games, and they just weren't well received. Now I heard that the Cap game was actually pretty decent. They said it had some pretty decent stuff mechanics, pretty good combat mechanics. It was just clanky for its time because again the hardware wasn't up to par.
Yes, that
So
was it.
I think that's what you're running into, and you got to remember, anytime you're dealing with a lot of these movie license tie-in type stuff, a lot of these companies unfortunately are still in that mindset of, oh, we got to have it out by the movie. It's like, no, you don't, man. That's why that Wolverine game was so good. They went with some of the movie stuff and then beyond the movie. GoldenEye for the N64 from way back in the day did the movie and went beyond the movie, and it made it, you know, a really good experience. So I think if more of these companies, and again, it's also because development costs have basically become as big a budget as movies themselves. It's a hard gamble because it's like if you make an Iron Man game and it flops, Disney's going to be on your ass. So because we saw what they did with that Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like they don't play. So I think with Marvel nowadays, Disney is hyper protective. And the Lego games have pretty much been what you were getting for your superhero fix in a lot of these cases. And rare occasions you're getting something like this Spider-Man game where it's like, look, the time has been put in. They went, you know, they went through and crossed every T, dotted every I, and made sure that this thing was a great product. So I don't think you're going to get a lot of Marvel games just popping up like they used to, because you got to basically, you know, part the Red Sea to make sure that thing is perfect before it gets past Disney's, you know, radar, essentially, for release. Because it's, if it doesn't pass muster, man, they're not going to do anything to let their brands get damaged.
That's a pretty good assessment overall. And I mean, you can't really say too much else. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to these games, you know, especially now, the time has to be put in them for them to really come out to really be a true gem when they come out. It's like the fact that Insomniac were working on the Spider-Man game they probably had been working on it for quite a while. Because I think like the first trailer that we had was what, 2 years ago? Was it like 1 or 2 years ago? And they've been working on it all this time. And like after all this time, the hype was still as high as it's ever been. And it's like, and just like he said, like how we're not gonna get those like Marvel games to pop up every other time. Once again, it was 2 years ago that Square Enix randomly dropped that trailer for that Avengers game. We still don't know what the hell it's gonna be.
Nope.
And it's like I could just see them just randomly just dropping it sometime next year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sometime between Captain Marvel and Avengers 4 that they just randomly drop it, and it's going to be it's either going to be Ultimate Alliance 3 or some other concoction that they are working on.
Hey,
so
I'm still mad that they have not dropped Captain America and Avengers on Xbox or PlayStation. Like, is that movie been out for too long? They didn't put that game out on the Xbox.
You talk about the old Data East Captain America and Avengers?
Talking about that.
Okay.
I mean, they might. I mean,
go ahead.
I don't know.
That
was the no, you said Data East. Never mind.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't think Data East exists anymore. And that's
no, they don't. That's part of the problem. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff back in the day as it comes to licensing issues. That's why, even though they dropped that Simpsons game back on Xbox and PlayStation back in the day, they took it off. It's because they loved the licenses. It's just got all this crazy stuff that's wrapped up in these licenses. So you're probably never going to see those games unless you emulate them.
Let's do Whirlwind's Laugh.
Dude, I should make that a drop. I should straight up make that a drop. That laugh was dope. I need to make that a drop.
Yeah, never know where in the world nobody could actually do that. That junk was insane.
Yeah, it was.
Like, what the hell?
Completely computer generated, dog. But no, I need to make that a drop for real. You know, similar to this Pac-Man drop. Like I need to make that whirlwind laugh one and just throw it in there just randomly. That would just be funny. Cause man, that was a great laugh. It really was. It was a great laugh.
They had some terrible dialogue in that movie too. That game.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Dialogue was terrible.
Beyond that, though, I want that Spider-Man game too. That other Spider-Man.
Oh, the Sega one. The Sega one.
Namor and Black Cat.
Where it would shrink and then stand out if like you were fighting like giant Venom and all that other stuff.
I remember playing that game. I was on a cruise when I was a kid when my parents took me on a cruise or whatever, and I remember playing it at an arcade. I played that game. I did not want to leave because I'm like, oh, what is? That's my first time seeing it. I'm like, yo, what is this? And I literally was there for hours playing that game. That game was so sick.
Hey, Kevin Molina, appreciate the update. We did talk about that earlier. So we will see what's going down with the whole Cavill and the Superman thing. Appreciate the comment though, man.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. My boy Kevin is from the group those damn comic book guys. Me and him go back and forth on stuff all the time. But I really appreciate him watching the show. I really appreciate the debates that he and I get into. Sometimes they get heated, but I still love him anyway. He's still a good dude. He loves DC. Yes, we are, dog. Yes, we are. We absolutely. It's like me and him are like mortal enemies, dog. But I love mixing it up with this guy, man, because I seriously appreciate his passion. I do. I really do. Doesn't mean he can get on the show. I ain't saying that. I'm not ready to go that far, but I do appreciate his passion. I know. I totally.
I think that would be funny.
Yeah, I need
funny too.
I don't know, man. I might think about it. The dog. I don't know, man. You know what? Super Nerd, I have to tell you, you'd have to actually see some of the stuff me and him go back and forth about before you actually make that decision. Yes, dog.
Near like 100 messages back and forth. I'm laughing at you guys. You guys are great.
Yeah. Me and him awesome. we do. So anyway, moving off of Spider-Man and all things Marvel.
One last thing on Spider-Man. Zach Brewer just popped in. He said he can only pop in for a second. His quick thoughts on Spider-Man said it had him tearing up.
Yeah.
So
really good.
Hey. Yeah, so like I said, I might end up picking that up this weekend.
It's really good. It's definitely worth you picking up. Dido, if there was anything you'd break your vow for,
nope.
Spider-Man would be the game.
That man is not gonna get that much.
Do it.
It's like he's already almost he's already almost done. But dude, man, just go ahead, man.
Well,
we ain't gonna tell nobody. Look at this guy! Look at this guy!
Isn't that technically a Sony release though?
First party? What do you mean?
Isn't that a first part? Is that a first party game or no?
It's exclusive. So
yeah, kind of.
I don't know if Sony released it because I'm not 100% sure if it's Insomniac.
Isn't that Sony release though?
Insomniac Games.
What do you mean?
Is a Sony company because they did release a game for Xbox One, but it is exclusive.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely exclusive because it's Spider-Man. So, but
so they were contracted by Sony, obviously.
I got you, because that's what I was wondering. Because if it was directly released by Sony themselves, that price is not dropping anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. No, technically, yes, that is.
No, I disagree, but we'll see.
No, not all the time, because Knack dropped quick.
Not just Knack. There's that Horizon game that came out and it dropped so fast.
Nobody bought it.
Yeah, apparently, and it was supposedly a really good game, and it was a Sony exclusive.
This is
God of War, I think, also dropped pretty fast. I'm not really too sure because I haven't been keeping up with.
The God of War dropped to like maybe 40. It didn't hit 20. It didn't.
And by next year, it'd be 20. Next November.
Without a doubt, yeah.
So I can wait. It's like I said, if you look at what I'm looking at right now, my big old wall over there, it's like. Seriously, if I were trapped in this basement for the rest of my life, I'd not run. I wouldn't finish all the games before I died. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tony Young, shut your damn mouth about Fifth Element, man. Shut your damn mouth about Fifth Element. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah. No, I still ain't seen it. Anyway, shut up. Shut up.
Now that I got a PS4 Pro, I might have to go ahead and get Spider-Man this weekend for real. Though.
Yeah, go ahead and get it, man. It's going to be really dope. But moving on from Spider-Man and onto other things Marvel, Iron Fist Season 2 came out this past Friday. It was a great improvement to me on the first season. Very much well improved. And actually, that last episode, man, I was ready for Season 3 like tomorrow. But that's just me. I don't know how everybody else is feeling about it. GQ obviously didn't get to see it yet. But the other 4 of us did. So I'm going to turn it over to a super Iron Fist fan himself, Super Nerd Plus. What were your thoughts on season 2 versus season 1? And are you ready for season 3?
I wouldn't say I was a super fan, but I do like the character. Definitely a better improvement than the first season. But there were certain things, it just got weird towards the later on season. I'm like, the episodes, I'm like, he is getting his ass kicked entirely too much to be a kung fu master. And I started thinking, I was like, somebody with that much ability to fight and have chi and all that stuff, they got to humanize him. And I said to myself, he has the Superman complex where somebody has so much power they don't know what to do with him writing wise.
We gonna have to talk about that. Big super nerd, mainly because you said he get his ass kicked. If you're watching what I was watching, he was not getting his ass kicked by anybody.
Thank you.
After he got fucking drugged. He got drugged. They fucking bled him out. They stole the dumped him on a bench.
I'm not talking about that.
That's the only time he was getting his ass kicked.
Like
when was he getting his ass kicked?
Go
back and watch it, dude. Go back and watch it. He did not get his ass kicked once until she drugged his ass. She drugged him, took him to freaking Davos. They bled his ass. They freaking beat him up, cut him up. He's freaking put on a park bench, and that's the only time he was getting beat up where he couldn't do anything because he was already weak. He was close to death. He was close to death.
Watch the spoilers, guys. Watch the spoilers. Some people haven't finished it all. Watch the spoilers.
Even so, she shouldn't even like. I know he probably was like all confused on who she was, but still, though, if somebody throwing hands at you, your first reaction is I don't care who you are.
That's the whole thing, is that he was confused because he saw.
I get that.
Yeah, so he's not trying to beat her up. He's trying to handle the situation. And he was handling the situation till he got freaking. All
right. You guys are throwing back and forth too much. Too many spoilers. Some people are always some people are already saying they're gonna check out. So just chill. Go ahead, GQ.
Well, beyond even that though, here's what you guys have. Well, I'm sure Dido already knows this, but because we've talked about it before. TV shows have to tell a story. They have to have struggle. They have to have conflict. That's why Superman as a character usually sucks when they try to do a story that has him at his full potential, because nobody can really touch him. It'd be pointless to even have an episode of anything, because it's like, okay, who's going to really do anything to Superman? So they always have to bring him down to something to make it so it's like, okay, people are going to beat his ass. Because again, you can't have again, I'm not a big Iron Fist fan. The only thing he brought me that I liked was Sabretooth way back in the comic book days. But it's like you can't have all of his heavy hitters on the show every single week giving him trouble, because that gets really boring. It's like, dude, he just fights these guys over and over and over again. So you got to find some ways to break your hero down in order to give some type of struggle, some type of stuff, so your story can move along. Because if he literally was Iron Fist the way he's supposed to be, nobody on the street level is going to get with him. So it's like, that's a boring story. That's why even like with Luke Cage, yeah, you got the grunts you throw at him to he walks through them, he beats them down, does whatever, but you eventually get to somebody or a couple of people that can give him some type of trouble, because otherwise, why even watch?
But the thing is, Luke Cage got his ass kicked in the books too.
So I understand that, but Iron Fist technically, realistically, and again, I hate any comic book that has characters that are like that. Like, for example, another example out of anime, Goku. Goku gets his ass beat on the regular. Always the story of Goku that makes it interesting is he has to struggle, work out, do whatever, train to get back and overcome. That's why Goku's interesting to watch, and Dragon Ball keeps it going. Now, yes, it's repetitive, but at least that's what keeps Dragon Ball stories going. It's like, dude, how are they going to overcome? What are they going to do now to figure out how to, get stronger or whatever? Anytime you got a character that can just walk through everybody, that's a boring story, and it's not even worth watching.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
To a certain extent, but I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Dude, that's like literally you play Street Fighter and you get perfects all the time. And it's like, what's the point of even playing if nobody ever gives you a challenge?
Boring.
Right.
Absolutely boring.
Just jump on the sticks like this.
I'm weird like that. This shit don't bother me.
I mean, I can understand some people see, and this is the problem I have with what Dave was bringing up in the chat the other day. Him and Sean both at the same time. It's like, wait a minute. So you guys never want to see the hero struggle at all. It was like they want everybody to walk through perfect and never get touched. It's like that's not realistic. I mean, like literally, like that's why I posed the question. I said, if you go to any martial arts master in the world today, they'll tell you when you're facing multiple opponents, the odds are astronomically high that you are going to get hit by some people. I mean, it's just a numbers game. You know, it's a numbers game. It's gonna happen.
I like characters breaking down mentally. Physically, I don't give a shit about physically.
But mentally, dude, they're human. What do you expect? Of course, they're gonna break down. They're human. Man.
Breaking somebody down mentally on a show is a long process.
Yeah,
that's like, for example, if you look at Jessica Jones and what Purple Man was doing with her, that was a long, drawn out, multiple episode process of him breaking down her psyche. You can't. That's why stuff like that is a slow burn.
I like shit like that. I guess
I understand that, but when you got a 10 episode season, everything can't be slow burn. You got to do something. Otherwise, people are like, dude, this thing is boring.
Right.
Ain't no action. Ain't nothing happening.
And that's kind of what happened to Iron Fist season 1. Honestly, if you think about it, it was just so much exposition, so much breaking down Danny coming back to New York and him struggling with being the Iron Fist and feeling out of place. It was really painful to watch for a lot of people. In fact, Jessica Jones season 1 suffered from the same thing, but it was still a fairly good show because of Killmonger. Iron Fist didn't have that in season 1, but season 2 we got. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Kilgrave. Sorry, sorry, my bad. Black Panther, whatever.
Which verse did you sing?
Anyway, so
got that
Mandela effect. Right, but in season 2 of Iron Fist, we got Davos, and Davos, I thought, as a villain was pretty good. I also thought they brought in Typhoid Mary, but she wasn't really necessarily the big bad. She was just kind of like another character that was there cool. that they were fleshed out. Yeah, and she was cool. Seeing Alice Eve like that, I've never seen her like that. Normally, when you see Alice Eve, like she's blonde, she's beautiful, she's busty, she's not playing that type of character. And I thought it was really cool seeing her like that. It really spoke to how much she took the time to learn how to play someone that has dissociative identity disorder, and she played the role really, really well. I thought she did really good. But Davos, let's talk about Davos as a main villain and contrast him to Danny Rand and the other characters. So what do we think of Davos in season 2 of Iron Fist?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I thought Davos was that type of villain that came in and does exactly what all of our friends who are comic book friends did. He came in and he used his powers to the fullest, and he had nothing holding him back, no moral sense. He had his own morals, but he had nothing holding him back, and that's exactly what I feel a lot of people apparently want in their shows. Is they wanted to switch where Iron Fist was doing what Davos was doing, but for him to do all that stuff and to break down, because he managed to get what he wanted. I couldn't really understand his motivation. I mean, even though you kind of saw it, but he just seemed kind of twisted.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because I hated it. To me, it felt like it was that same old trope where it's like he think he's doing something good by cleaning the city, and he's actually being the villain the whole time. I hate that kind of trope. Just if you had a plan in the first place, just come up with a better plan, like just killing all the triads. Like, okay, what's new?
His whole thing is, if I'm going to be an Iron Fist, I'm going to do it right, and I'm not going to hold back for anything, because that's not what Iron Fist is supposed to do. Iron Fist is not supposed to hold back. They're most powerful, and I'm going to show you that I'm powerful, and we're going to wreck shop.
But I guess that's part of the appeal of season 2 versus season 1. It kind of showed you how you wondered, okay, because even in the first season, and I know this might be a spoiler for some season, I mean, not in the first season, in the first part of season 1, how they were talking about, how Danny was talking about, and you see how he was almost losing control of himself using the Iron Fist, and how it was like almost becoming like an addiction, whereas Davos kind of just willingly just gave into it. But at the same point, you wonder, okay, is this an addiction for Davos? Is he being consumed by the power, or is this who he really is? That type of thing. And I thought that was a fairly interesting dynamic. Bianca, no judgment that you haven't watched season 2 just yet. No, everybody goes at their own pace. It's cool. But we really think it's a really, really good show. What did you guys think of that?
For the record, that mask looks stupid.
It does, but you know what? Wait a minute. Which one we talking about? We talking about the Iron Fist mask?
The Iron Fist mask looks kind of fucking dumb. I'm sorry. I can see why they put the costume
it was
on,
supposed to be ceremonial, obviously.
I get it.
You know, like it could have looked better, but if you really think about it, like something like that only really looks good on paper. If you really
exactly, that's typical why they don't put many comic book costumes in real life because they look.
He had a shit costume. His costume was goofy, y'all.
Hold on.
Wait. Are you saying very goofy looking? So,
are you saying he has his Iron Fist mask from the comics?
Just the flashbacks.
Just the mask. Just the
in flashbacks.
Briefly, it's not like he's wearing them like all the time.
And thank God.
It showed all seriousness
alone. So like it does.
Let Junkies speak. Let Junkies speak. Hold on. Let him speak.
Seriousness. Oh, go ahead.
No, you speak. I'm trying to let you talk. Go ahead.
No. What I'm saying, in all seriousness, with that, there's too much similarity between that look and Daredevil's first look in season 1, anyway. I mean, it looks like it's the same exact type of thing. It's like your top of your head is covered and your nose and mouth are exposed. So,
you know what I think the difference is? Here's the difference, though. The difference is that Daredevil was wearing black and it looked cool. He's wearing yellow and it looks stupid as hell. That's the difference.
I get the color difference, but again, they're both throwbacks to comic book origins. Daredevil came out first. We've already seen that. So for Iron Fist to be running around with that all the time, it's like, dude, can y'all get somebody with a better looking mask design if everybody gonna be running around with the same stupid half mask or whatever, or trying to look like Batman? I think that's part of the reason outside of the comic books don't always translate. That's why we get, adjustments and make things look better on screen. But also, you don't want two characters of your whole, Netflix universe to be running around looking similar to each other. Obviously Daredevil has got his comic books, standard costume now. But for the whole, the bulk of the first season, he was running around looking like Iron Fist, basically in black. So I can understand why it's like, look, it's only a flashback. We ain't gonna use that thing all the time because it doesn't fit. It doesn't work.
Right. And I liked what
70s Luke Cage all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Could you imagine that metal tiara thing? Yeah, that would have been bad. I love what Tony Young said. Yeah, I love what Tony Young said. I love what Tony Young said in the chat. He said they needed to prove to the diehards that the mask wouldn't work, and that's actually they did a really good job with that in one scene with Davos. Later in the season, you guys will see it as you see the show, and when you see him with it on, you're like, okay, yeah, that looks really dumb. That's just like, okay, no one would ever take anybody seriously. You running around town with that on your head, like, I mean, it just looks dumb. Now, what Danny wore instead, he wore a green jumpsuit with a hood, and he had a pulled up yellow like ninja mask. That cuts off the lower half of his face. That looked kind of cool to me. You've seen it probably in some key visuals that are floating around the net.
I like that
for season 2. I think it looked dope. I think that really looked cool.
I mean, if you broke it down though, the majority of comic book costumes, period, would not work in real life.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right.
Batman's cape, Superman's cape, constantly in the way. Constantly. Like in the animated series, when he would jump into the Batmobile and his cape would fly like right underneath him. I'm like, dude, you be sitting, Batman, it would take you at least 4 minutes to pull all that cape in.
and you ain't jumping in that car.
Right what I'm saying. So it's like, it's like I have no problem with them making adjustments like that because, yes, these are iconic looks or whatever. On screen, they look dumb as hell. Like the only one that they haven't done that I think they should have is Wolverine's classic, either yellow and brown or yellow and blue, because they showed in that deleted scene that it can.
That tease! The tease looks so cool.
But the majority of those costumes, if you really, really look at them, dude, they're not going to work.
Yeah.
It's like there's just something. It's like you're going to get something caught in a door or whatever, and it's just going to be in your way constantly.
Didn't Incredibles say something about that?
Oh yeah,
they never
did.
want a cape because capes don't work.
It's true.
They look cool. They look cool. They just don't work practically. So as far as season 3 goes, what do you guys think about a season 3 for Iron Fist? Towards the end of the season, Super Nerd, Fallen Marvel, Dido, that what you saw, especially for you, Fallen Marvel and Dido, you like me have read Iron Fist books. You kind of know some of the lore.
I haven't read any Iron Fist.
I read. You talking to the wrong person?
I had to.
So before you guys talk, because there's a lot of stuff. Okay, I've never read Iron Fist at all. Right? I know nothing of the character outside of what I've been told, some of the media that I've seen otherwise in not comic books, but video games and cartoons. And without trying to spoil it, those who saw it know what I'm talking about. I did not get that last scene on the last freaking. That didn't make any sense to me, because if he's Iron Fist, he shouldn't be using certain things.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's okay. It is explained. It is part of the comic book lore, so it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is part of the comic book lore.
Tell me more about that when we get off with the West Coast, so we don't have to spoil for everybody.
Certainly, but
it just didn't make any sense to me at all. And then I was trying to do research to see the whole thing about that other person with the other person gets the other thing, and I didn't understand. Was that even?
He's trying so hard not to spoil it. Yeah, he's trying so hard not to spoil it. He's trying so hard, and I love him for that. I love that he's doing that. But no. At the end of the season, when like what you said, some people might have a problem with the way the season ended. They might feel like it's diluting the Iron Fist itself with what happened. Also. But when you're going to the greater part of what happened with Danny at the end of the season, like you alluded to with the artifacts that he runs across, two of those people, the two people basically mentioned that are connected to principal characters in the show. I don't want to spoil it, but they deepen the Iron Fist lore and make me think that they're going to start bringing in some of the deeper mythology of the Iron Fist, the history, the previous Iron Fist, the book of the Iron Fist, which was located in Kunlun. I wonder if it's not in Kunlun anymore. If because I believe the gentleman mentioned at the end of the season, Super Nerd, he actually had the book of the Iron Fist, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think they're going to start doing that. And will definitely kind of blow the mythos open for the Iron Fist, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I was kind of excited when I was thinking that, because I was like, finally take it out of the city.
Yeah.
So and I think it's gonna go well with season 3. Like I said, I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the show completely. Season 2 definitely better than the first. I'm just waiting. Like you said, season 3 is gonna put out the mythos that we've been waiting for, basically.
Right.
So yeah.
I think. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, like, I think like one of the things I enjoyed about it is, like, again, because they ended it essentially trying to deepen the lore of the Iron Fist, like just where like the whole legacy of it and whatnot. The thing is, that was like something I had picked up like throughout the series, because like little by little they kept revealing that, like, okay, maybe it was something more to bearing the Iron Fist than what was taught to them. Like, it's another side of that coin that they still had to find out about, and they kind of came full circle with that at the end. So I like that that's how they went with it, because it makes everything about the show more interesting.
Absolutely. And Tony Young put in the comments section, he says, for Iron Fist season 3, they need to go all in Kunlun, the 7 capitals, the she powers, the other immortal weapons. Now, we already had one of the other immortal weapons show up in season 1, the bride of the 1,000 Spiders. She was actually in the first season. I felt like I wish they hadn't done that, because they kind of threw that whole what made the Iron Fist the tournament of the Eternal Cities. They kind of threw that away a little bit with season 1. I was kind of hoping they would save that, but they didn't. But as far as like some of the other stuff that you're mentioning, I'm hoping that they did go that direction as well, because that's where the Iron Fist book really got good to me. Was that I think it was like early 2000s series that they had run with Iron Fist. I thought it was some of the best stuff that Iron Fist had ever had. Okay, so that's it for Iron Fist. If you haven't seen Iron Fist season 2 yet,
Iron Fist. I hope Iron Fist season 3 brings in Braun Strowman as Sabretooth, because that'd be awesome.
Catch these hands! Yeah,
right.
I do kind of wish that they link more to the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's something I hope, because season 3 comes out after the end of the Disney Fox merger. Then I hope they take full advantage of that.
Honestly, for me, I'm kind of hoping that they bring in Shang-Chi in season 3. To be honest, like, I've been waiting to see Shang-Chi.
Oh man, Shang-Chi would be dope. I honestly do hope that actually really does happen.
Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, we need it.
I almost forgot about him.
Yeah. What?
I did. I almost forgot about him. Shang-Chi.
What?
I totally forgot about him.
Wow. Okay.
Just
all right.
I couldn't remember the damn name. All right.
Now that I was looking at one of Johnny's posts in the chat. Super Nerd, have you seen Equilibrium?
No, I don't think so. I know it's
Christian Bale. Christian Bale.
I know the movie. Isn't it Philip K. Dick's one of his stories, I believe?
Might have been. It came out shortly after The Matrix. Basically, it was kind of. I remember. Yeah. Basically, one of the reason I bring that up, and the reason he had mentioned it, it was like we were talking about how heroes, go through a whole movie, basically don't get touched. That movie is an example of that. Like, he, everybody that's trained in his whole force that he was in was, has this gun kind of thing where they have studied all these gun battles, so they know every possible, like, place where you'll return fire, and they'll be in the right position to counter fire. So essentially, he would run into a room of like 20 people, and they'd be shooting machine guns at him, and he wouldn't get shot because he could dodge all the bullets because of all this supposed gun kind of stuff. Like that to me is what makes stories. Now, granted, the movie was great, but stuff like that to me is what makes heroes boring. When you sit there and it's like, for example, Steven Seagal, Under Siege. You got all these trained killers. And you go through it, and the only thing you get is a scratch on your cheek from Tommy Lee Jones. All these other trained killers, though, all these guys couldn't touch you. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Man, please, the sequel to that, like, just took the cake after that.
The sequel was garbage.
On its own right, that movie was actually amazing for different reasons. They had Brian Fury in there.
Yeah, that dude was pretty much Brian Fury.
Yeah, they've been there. They had like some of the funniest deaths like in an action movie in a while. Like, that movie was bad, but it was entertaining at the same time.
Yes, Tony Young, Sabretooth made his debut in Iron Fist number 14. Because he's asking about if he was a Iron Fist character.
Yes, he was.
Iron Fist number 14. I forgot the exact year, but it's been a while.
Tony Young even just said it. Steven Seagal never even got shot. Never got shot.
Only time I ever got respect for Steven Seagal was in Machete. We were sitting there watching that in the theater when he was committing seppuku on himself. That was hilarious.
That would have been nice to see. That would have been nice to see.
Have you not seen that movie?
Nope, still haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. I know.
The Fifth Element and Machete, man. What's wrong with you?
Machete.
Sorry, man. I know I'm slipping.
Fifth Element.
Hey, but hey, look, you know what? I got plenty of time right now, so I might need to borrow some people's. I need to come over to GQ's immaculate library and borrow a couple of really good films, so I can catch up and get Tony Young and the rest of y'all fools off my back about Fifth Element and all that other kind of stuff. So. Anyway, so moving right along, we got a few minutes left. I want to just kind of casually talk about a few things. Like, did y'all know this weekend Shadow of the Tomb Raider comes out, like, this Friday? Did y'all know that?
Oh yeah, no.
I vaguely remember. I kept it in the back of my head, but I know. I'm gonna play it eventually.
Yeah,
I liked it. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, like I didn't even know. It kind of like snuck up on me. It's like, man, it's like, okay, I just get Spider-Man. Now I got to drop money on this. NBA 2K came out last week too. A lot of people were playing that, man. This is like, dog, I ain't got enough time to be playing all these games, man. It's like, you know, I ain't got enough time. I got enough money.
Keenan, we are pretty much going to be like stacked up with stuff all the way till probably next fall. Okay, yeah. Like there's too much stuff coming out. Like a lot of great stuff came out this year, and we still have stuff coming out this month, next month, January.
Yeah, like Red Dead next month. Like, come on, nah.
It's ridiculous. Like, man, please. Like there's not enough time in the world right now as a gamer.
Now see what y'all done started. Now I got this fool Kevin Molina going in on me about Fifth Element. Look at what y'all done.
That's your fault, dude. That's your fault. You ain't seen that movie in all these years. That's your fault. So you deserve all the ridicule.
Whatever, man. Anyway, Dragon Quest. Yeah, you know, Dragon Quest also came out.
That
came last week. So
yeah, man. Here's the thing: NBA 2K19 or whatever, you put that on the back burner. That'll be $20 in 2 months.
Yes, but I kind of want to play with my son. But yes, I get you. I get you.
Yeah,
I get you. Go ahead.
What's more important?
I mean, folks love playing for that. Folks love playing for that roster, paying for that roster update. I mean, that's all.
Man, whatever, dog. Hey,
that's all. Hey,
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. Okay, I'm guilty. Guilty as charged. I got you. With that. Yes, I do. I do pay for yearly sports roster updates. I do. I'm sorry. I do. I don't do Madden, but I do NBA 2K. Sorry, sue me. Anyway, but
he said, "Do you?"
Right, really did.
Yeah. We need an NBA Street if EA stopped playing.
Oh my man, yes. Johnny Patton says, you know, these are great problems to have, and technically, yes, he is right. These are great problems to have. I'm not going to say that, you know, but man, just like, can we breathe? Like, I wanted to play Yakuza, haven't played Yakuza. You know, I wanted to play Horizon, haven't played Horizon. I wanted to play Detroit Becoming Human, haven't played that. Want to play that. It's like, man, it's like Dadokuchi, I'm trying to feel like you, man. It's like I got all these games I want to get, and, you know, I can't play them all.
Get them and focus on me. You're not gonna ever play them all. That's the whole entire problem.
Yeah.
You know this, I know.
Don't say that. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is a way to do it, because like if you can barely see it over here. I got my sticky notes up here, and this year I've probably beaten more games this year than I've beaten in a long time, because you know, if you don't focus and you don't sit there and get a goddamn game done, you know, you won't. It's possible to play through all the games that you buy. Most games are 20 to 40 hours. That's a week of work. But I know you can't put that much time that you would into it. So you could potentially get a game done if you don't do anything else and slack off on responsibilities and other people. And probably about 2 weeks, most games. Maybe.
Yeah, that's not a bad pace. I mean, it's, again, like we've always said, we got older and got more responsibilities, so we got less game time, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. And those who have kids have even less.
Yeah, us like 20 years
Johnny
ago.
Johnny Patton just said a new Soul Calibur next month too. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wait, what? Soul Calibur?
Another new Soul Calibur next month.
I'm getting the collectors on that one.
Yeah, man. It's like, but man, you know, these are first world problems, obviously, but we can worry about more of that later. I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining the show. The show today was absolutely fantastic. Loved the energy, loved the chats and the comments, loved all the new viewers like Kevin Molina and Bianca Alvarez. I think it was the first time she was watching it live. We saw Cameron Orr over on YouTube. We saw Mr. Reese on YouTube. Saw I got another Mr. Charles Walker over there on YouTube. We want to thank everybody for joining the show today. We're going to be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, next week, Wednesday, with another new episode of Culture Junkies Live. Final thoughts before we sign off, gentlemen. Go around the horn. GQ.
33,333.
Okay, that was random. All right. Follow Marvel.
It's not random. I know it's talking about his PlayStation 500 million edition.
There you go. Right.
Oh, that's your number? That's your number. Okay, that's dope. Follow Marvel.
Yeah, I also forgot. They did announce that we get a new Samurai Spirits too.
What?
It looks like To me, it looks like a very, very polished Street Fighter 4. That's what it looks like. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays
I
out.
miss 2D hand-drawn games.
Yeah, me too. I miss those too. I mean, shout out to Atlas for all the awesome work that they do with Dragon Ball Fighters and stuff like that, and Blaze Blue and stuff like that. That's pretty awesome. But
that just reminded me more games. God.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Cross battle,
Jump Force,
Jump Force, cross battle,
world.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm not looking for. Anyway, we could discuss that at another time. We got to get out of here. Last thoughts from Daidakuji, and then we're gonna go.
I don't have too many of them, but I was cruising through Facebook, and I saw a picture of a Spider-Man wearing a black suit with black goggles. He looks kind of cool in front of a gigantic dog, and I'm like, why is that dog? I don't get it. Is that supposed to be like the Bull of New York? And then it hit me. That is the dog from that show that failed that I haven't watched that everybody else said is terrible.
Lockjaw? Lockjaw? Yes.
Is that the dog?
Oh, that's Lockjaw.
Yeah, the Humans.
Lockjaw?
Humans. Lockjaw. Yes.
The Lockjaw statue. I'm like, they're putting a lot of Easter eggs in that stuff.
Yeah, they do. That thing is full of Easter eggs. You're right. But go ahead and watch me on YouTube when I'm playing some Spider-Man. We'll kind of discover them all. I already found Alias Investigations. Haven't been to Avengers Tower just yet. So they say the offices of Nelson and Murdoch are in there somewhere as well. So I'm actually looking forward to catching up with Sanctum Sanctorum is in there as well. So hey,
nice.
we'll have to definitely go and keep track of all the Easter eggs. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Come back and check us out next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. See you guys later.
As everybody knows, we all wearing hats.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Except for the rebel over there, Great Daidakuji, everybody's wearing hats. Yeah,
I don't have a hat.
Yeah, you need to get a hat, man. Get with the program. See you guys.
I got loot.